What is up, YouTube? Today I'm going to be showing you how to get the best build for Texas Chainsaw's newest character, Hands. Now, these are my top 3 favorite builds, starting off with number 1, the Blood build. Yes, if you follow this map, you're going to get 31 attribute points, to which you can allocate to Savagery, Blood Harvesting, and Endurance. As you can see here, I already maxed out Savagery, some went to Blood Harvesting, the rest in Endurance, so we do not get winded from the chase. So the perks that I did have for this build, you have Scout, which is increased movement by 15%, Universal Donor, which is blood collected from buckets is increased by 40%, and then you have Heart Attack, increases victim bleed out for 180 seconds after they trigger a trap or they get hit by the barge. Now, in a couple clips you can see here, I actually got Grandpa to level 3 within, I wanna say, about 9 buckets of blood. This is guaranteed the most aggressive blood build that you can get, mainly because you can attack people, you're very light on your feet, and with a couple perks plus the barge attack, you are able to get easier kills, which means more blood for Grandpa, which is going to make the family bond raise up quicker and max level before anybody gets to escape. The second best build that you're going to be able to get is the Savagery build. You only get 27 attribute points, and majority of these perks and abilities that you're able to get are more focused on if you're able to catch up to the victim, which you're gonna have to spend a lot of endurance. And for the damage perks, I do not know if they stack above 50. That's something that I wish the devs would have addressed a little bit, but you might want to play around with blood harvesting a little bit, but definitely the main focus after that is all endurance because you do not have Scout. For the perks, I do have Feral, which is Savagery increased by 7 points, which is nice. You do not have to use any of the points that you got from the skill tree map. Then you have Bruiser, which increases the damage taken by the victims by 15 additional points. And then it's Blunt Force Trauma. Attacks gain a concussive hit effect if stamina is above 50%. That is huge because you do not have Scout to be chasing them at a high speed, but you do have enough endurance to chase them long enough to which they get tired. You hit them once, they get the concussive hit, they start running around stupid, they go left when they should have went right. It just makes for a nice way to chase them, especially if you do not have Scout. So I highly recommend just getting this concussive hit, the Blunt Force Trauma. It's gonna be what helps you in this Savagery build. And finally, we have the Trapper build. If you follow this skill tree map, you're able to get 31 attribute points. I focused everything on endurance because Savagery is already up there, maybe a little tweak there for an even number, blood harvesting for the rest of the points, but the main star of the show is going to be the abilities and the perks. The perks I have for this Trapper build, we have Short Fuse that highlights shocked victims from traps for 7 seconds. That's very key because when they are electrocuted from traps, they don't show you where they're at. You're gonna have to guess, which takes time, and they could potentially escape. The second one I have is Slow Hands. A victim who does trigger the traps complete hold and tap interactions slower by 40%. That is very important because these Connies just speed rush a gate, get zapped, get back up, and spam the mini game for the lock. And that's just not how it's supposed to work, right? They're supposed to take a little damage. So very important, Slow Hands. And then I brought back Scout for the movement speed, which is increased by 15%. And that is pretty much it for my 3 builds for this character. It's what I've used so far to be able to have fun with them and just kind of have that secure feeling that if I'm in a game, I could definitely smack a few victims. However, I do recommend that you guys stay away from 2 perks. One of the perks is going to be the rubber boots. It really doesn't matter because it really only works for Nancy's house and you really don't need to pull a generator just once. Especially if you have Ripstall, you shouldn't be having to go to the generator. The second one is gonna be the Ripstall. It has a cooldown to where people are not able to interact with it for a certain amount of time. As you can see in my example video right here, it just keeps it open for other people to escape, and then after the 30 seconds, it turns off. Not sure if it's a glitch. however, but it's something that cost me a lot of games during this first week of playing hands. Last but not least, we have the ability skill tree. This is going to set you up nice for all your passive abilities that you're able to do. I kind of just focused on kind of going through, you know, these 3 directions because anything else, it seemed like it just wasn't going to work. But you can play around with the guys. Maybe you'll see something that I don't, and hopefully you can just use his character to be what he truly can be, which is very dominant and a very nice replacement for people that do not want to play Leatherface. You can play hands, and it's just that much better, especially since you have the ability to break down obstacles. And that is going to do it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoy these builds. If you have any recommendations for certain builds, make sure you leave it in the comment section. I am willing to try anything at this point because this character just seems to be limitless. The new Leatherface with just having a bunch of like hitchhiker abilities with traps, it just feels so nice to have this type of character in the game, especially after Danny. So with that being said, guys, I'm out.